All right. So on the scans, we have TPHS. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Hopefully everyone rested, got some refreshed their brains, their minds, their bodies, ready for the next full trading week. Hopefully you guys got some study time as well. We do have, this week will be a full week, but next week will be a 4-day week, because on Friday, Friday is another holiday. I forget what holiday it is. March 29 holiday. Oh, Good Friday. So it looks like Good Friday. It's a very, very good Friday. Very good. Very, very good Friday. It's a good, extra good Friday that we have off. Good weekend, but it was too long. Yeah, sometimes it feels like the weekends can be kind of long, especially if we love what we do every day. If we love what we do every day, we want to continue to do it. We don't want to stop. We don't want to quit. That's how I feel about trading too. You know, just I wish I could trade every day. Actually, probably not. I definitely need it. Even though like sometimes we don't want to take days off, we definitely need a day off. Anyways, let's go down through the scans here. We got TPHS. This one, penny stock, 25 cents a share. A lot of penny movers recently. Doesn't look like any news. TPHS has a float of 29 million. 29 million. Has a shelf offering at some point. A registered shelf. I don't really like it too much. I don't like too cheap. It's just too cheap for me. Too cheap for me. But you know, it could be in play for those guys who like to trade the penny stocks. You know, it could be in play. We're hanging around VWAP here. If we can hold this low, you know, and then potentially we can see that curl at the open. If it's the only one moving, I will trade it, but I prefer to trade something like STI. STI is, you know, making new highs. It's over VWAP. Has pretty decent volume. 300 to 400, 500,000 shares traded per 1 minute candle pre-market, which is very good. That means we're going to have well over 1 million to 2 million shares per 1 minute candle at the open. And we are at all-time highs. So all-time highs, it IPO'd back in February, put in a high of 350. Looks like we curled all the way back up and broke 350 by 1 cent. So we could see a pullback here, and then a continuation move here at the open, which could be what we're getting. It's getting that pullback. You know, we were pretty extended coming into that all-time highs. You know, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout. See if we can get another pullback and then breaking out, hopefully at the open with some fresh high volume. Let's see if there's any news on it. I wish there was news on it, but there's not. To make this really explosive, they needed to put out a news catalyst today. Because on the technicals, it's all lined up. On the technicals, it's all lined up for an explosive move through all-time highs. Let's take a look here at the float. The float, 3.4 million shares. Good morning, Chad. How's it going? 3.4 million shares float, which is good. Nice and low. Not registered, has not registered any warrants yet, so low potential for dilution. Doesn't have any registered warrants that could potentially hold down the price. WLDS is moving as well, so I like STI. I'll keep this on the side chart. Could be potential here. Doesn't have any news though. WLDS, this one is a penny stock. Kind of in a better range that I like it. Definitely better price range. I usually like to trade over 50 cents, kind of up near $1. Because I like to trade that breakout from into penny land into dollar land. So WLDS has that potential to get into that dollar land, and that's where we can see a little bit of a better range because we're skipping pennies versus micro pennies. Wearable Devices, which is the company, Wearable Devices published a report by its XR team suggesting the mudra band can be the neural bridge. Isn't the mudra like some hand symbol or something like that? I have no idea. I heard something about the mudra. It's like some spiritual hand syndrome symbol or something like that. The mudra band can be the neural bridge for Apple and Meta in their next wave of smart glasses interaction. Very good. I like that. You know, they're calling out the big names in the tech industry, Apple and Meta, in the next wave of smart glasses interaction. So sort of like an AI catalyst. It would be nice if they put in the word AI in the catalyst just to get a little bit more eyeballs. But yeah, so far, you know, I do think that's a pretty decent catalyst. Definitely, you know, for seeing a small company calling out those big names in the news catalyst, definitely can give it some juice. Let's take a look here. Okay. Warrants offering amount. So it looks like there's a 15.8 million share float, which is okay. It's okay. It's low enough to make a move, especially combined with the smaller price. We'll be able to turn a lot more shares than if it was a higher price. So I like it. It still looks good. 15.8 is still good. There's warrants, IPO warrants registered for an exercise price of $2. Exercise price of $2. So we can expect total warrants issued 7,500. Total warrants still left outstanding 6.7 million. So 6.7 million shares that could potentially be diluted here after $2. So we can expect that if we do make it to $2 today, which would be a stretch. So, you know, $2, you know, we have a long room until $2. So this could still be in play for quite a while, up until $2. But the thing why I like to look at the warrants is because warrant holders can only exercise their warrants after their exercise price. So after it breaks $2, they're able to exercise their warrants and pay a fee of $2 per warrant, and they can immediately sell and profit. So that's why you're likely to see a lot more resistance after $2, because you have the warrant holders exercising their warrants and selling their shares for whatever the stock price is at that moment. Let's say 250, 260, 270. They start, they pay their fee of $2, and then they sell their share for $2.60, and they make a 60-cent profit, which is great on a $2 stock. That's 30%. So, I think that's 30%. I don't know. I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, 30%. So that's why you're likely to see, a lot of resistance over that level, which is why I like to look at the warrants until, all of these warrants are sold into. 6.7 million is a lot of shares for dilution on a 15 million share float. So, that can definitely, come into play. We do have a shelf offering, total shelf capacity of 30,000. They've only raised 737,000, so they still, they could raise a lot more money. Depends if they're going to do that. Baby shelf restriction. What does this mean? Whether the shelf is currently under baby shelf rule. I like how they call it baby shelf. It's a baby. It's a baby shelf. Do you put an alert or line on the chart to remind you of the warrant level, or just keep it in your head? I just keep it in my head. I should probably put a level with maybe a little note, because if I have so many stocks moving, it can be hard to remember which one had the warrants. So let's see here. So they can still sell shares through the shelf. Whether the shelf is currently under baby shelf rule. If yes, then it can only raise 1/3 of the IB6 float value minus any amount raised while under the baby shelf rule. So it is under baby shelf rule, because the baby shelf restriction, yes. So it can only raise 1/3 of the IB6 float. What's the IB6 float? IB6 float is 8 million. So it can only raise 1/3, which is, let's say, 2,500. 2.6 million. It can only raise 2.6 million under this baby shelf rule in the last 12 months. So, okay, so it can only raise 1/3 in every 12 months of this. So 27 million, sorry, 2.7 million, 2.7 million, but it's already raised 2 million, so it can only raise another 600,000, which is nothing. 600,000. So we don't have to worry about this today. We don't have to worry about this. Last time it was, so last 12 months, yeah. Yeah, in the last 12 months, yes, 2 million. So we don't have to worry about this today, because they're gonna. Let's say they raise 600,000 of offering. It's nothing. That's not gonna affect the price. It's not enough. It's not enough. Plus, why would they even do that? They're probably gonna wait another 12 months. So. So what does that mean, shelf? So shelf is just an offering that they can offer at any time onto the market, at the market, without any without any warning, because it's already registered. It's kind of just raising money at its own whim into its market price. But the baby shelf restriction, I guess, restricts the amount that it can offer at one time. So it can only do 1/3 every 12 months of its IB6 float value, which is the 60-day close multiplied by the float. So that's a lot more technical. I mean, it's good to know, if you start to get into advanced trading, you're going to want to know this stuff eventually, but you don't really need it to be profitable. Like, I didn't really start looking into this until, just this year. But yeah, it's good to know. Now that I know, like, I don't need to worry about them using this shelf offering to dilute its share price. So I don't have to worry about that, which is great. And I don't need to worry about these warrants either, because not until at least $2. So great to know. I think, let's see what else. Let's take a look at the daily again. Yeah, so the daily. So we topped out at 88 in the pre-market. So 88 here. So previous high is going to be a clear, level. Previous low here. We got the low here. We got the high there. So perfect area for potential resistance. Yeah, over 1, it looks like we couldn't hold over 1. So 1's definitely going to be that psychological break. If we can hold over 1, then we can start pushing, 113, this previous high. I don't know what this is. I think we must have traded this before. I don't remember, yeah. So let me delete some of this. This is a decent inflection point as well. We had that support area here, and then we came up and retested and rejected, tested and rejected. So that's going to be a level there. I think maybe right here. Came down, tested support, and then came back up to test this previous area, and then we rejected. And went lower. So definitely a lot of resistance overhead, but if we have the volume, we can definitely punch through it. It depends if this news catalyst is gonna gain a lot of traction. Do I put an alert? Yeah, sorry, I haven't been following you for a while. So if I was wondering, are you working another job or are you day trading? So right now I'm day trading only. Day trading only. Pretty soon, once they hit that 1K subs, I'll be getting some money from YouTube. Be getting that YouTube money. So let's hit that subscribe button so we can get to 1K subs. Once I hit that 1K subs, I start getting paid by YouTube. Probably not gonna be too much though. I'm only expecting it's gonna be like $20, $30 a month, until I start getting like 5K, 10K, 20K subs. But yeah, I mean, YouTube, I guess anything, little thing helps. I like making these videos anyway, so I might as well get paid. So let's hit that subscribe button. Let's hit that like button. Let's bump up the channel. And grateful for all of my subscribers so far. We're at what, 822. So just a little bit more to go. Just a little bit more to go until I get that YouTube money. What about WAVD? WAVD. Let's take a look at WAVD. WAVD. Wave Dancer and Firefly Neuroscience, an AI-driven brain health company, each receive respective stockholder approval for merger. So it looks like it's a merger news. Yeah, so it's just approval for merger. The thing is, the volume is fading, and it's fading below VWAP, and the news isn't that great. It's not even on my scans, so the float must be pretty large. No, never mind. It is a low float. So things that I like about it is it's a 1.5 million share float. It's a great float, but that may not mean, like, it doesn't, just because it's a low float does not mean it's going to moon. But it also has to have the volume. Right now the volume is weak, only turning 5 to 10K shares per 1 minute candle. So unless we get an influx of volume at the open, surging up, we're not going to see this thing. But I'll put an alert, let's say, at back over VWAP. If we can hold over VWAP, so I'll put it significantly above VWAP. If we can hold above VWAP, then I'd be looking for that trade to the high. The news isn't that good, but, you know, even if it is a weak news, it could still move if the volume comes in. We've seen it before. We could squeeze over this $5 level. It looks like there's some resistance there. If there's shorts caught selling into 5, or sorry, covering into 5, we could see a squeeze. But we'll see. It really depends on that volume. It really depends on the volume. But yeah, good call for WAVD. I will keep this on the side chart if we do see it. Thinkorswim has 11 million users. Does it mean that at least 5 million traders are profitable? I have no idea. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I think it's a lot less than what is that, 40% are profitable. I'd say after I mean 11 million users, I'd say most of them are just buying the SPY and holding it, or buying any market index, so you can't really say they're traders. Out of 11 million users, I'd say there's about, what, maybe 2 million traders, like active traders. Out of those, maybe 20% are consistently profitable. And of those 20%, maybe 20% of those are making enough to make a living. So maybe 200,000 or something like that. Or no. Yeah. Or 20,000, yeah, 200,000 or something like that are profitable, consistently profitable. Or 40,000. So I don't know my math. 2 million, 20%, which is 400,000. 400,000, I would say about 400,000 are consistently profitable. But I'd say most of the users on Thinkorswim are just buying the SPY or buying some tech stocks and then holding it forever to the moon. So I don't really count them as traders. But we got 3 minutes to the open. What am I going to be looking at? What am I going to be looking at? I like STI, WLDS. We have the warrants at 2. So we have a lot of room. Let's take a look at the 200 EMA on STI. 200 EMA is at 251, so we're above that. WLDS 200 EMA is at 67 cents, so we're above that. So, you know, looking decent for either. I like WLDS and STI. STI doesn't have news, but, you know, if we do get decent volume, we could see that break because we do have the blue sky setup. Blue sky setups means there's no resistance because it hasn't been previously traded at that level before. So if we break over and hold 350, you know, we could see a decent move. I like that we're holding VWAP. So that's my plan here for the open, WLDS and STI. Hopefully you guys get green. Stay calm, cool, and collected. We have a long week ahead of us, so let's not dig ourselves a hole. And hopefully you guys get green. Hit that thumbs up button for me on the way out. Hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.